আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night.
Welcome back. We're into the final segment of the show, and we've got so much to go through. So I'll tell you what to do. Take a look at your TVs and see if you can find a team that represented you at the championship. Let's go through each of the groups and all of the respective results, permutations, and who went where. In Group A, you can see all of the results there that happened. Not a lot of goals were scored, but like I said, these were 25-minute games in the group sections. This is the one that we call the Group of Death. You can see Beaumont, MK Galacticos, the holders, West Yorkshire, and a strong Sylhet side. And that's what happened in their group. Yorkshire topped that group in the end, and Beaumont got there by second. You'll see there on that caption that both they and Sylhet were tied on points, goals, difference, and everything, probably even wearing the same shirts. But what happened is there was a penalty shootout to decide who went through, and Beaumont won it and progressed to the next round. In Group B, Birmingham, Tower Hamlets, Northampton and Cambridge all took each other on there. And Northampton and Birmingham just missing out were Cambridge, but it's Northampton and Birmingham who went through from Group B. Group C, that was a group that London Tigers were in, and probably the team that most people wanted to avoid. Tigers, I have to say, scraped a narrow and lucky victory over Coventry in the first fixture of the day, but they got better and better as they went through the day, and it was they and St Albans who went through. And as you can see, Tigers went there undefeated, winning all three of their group games. And in the fourth group, Luton, Bromley, Oldham and IOD were the four teams that were there. You heard us talking about how it was probably going to be London teams that made their way through and progressed all of the way. Bromley did their job and being the other London team that got through alongside Luton, who were last year's semi-finalists and were looking to go one better this year round. So they were the 8 teams. They took part in a series of quarterfinals and semi-finals. We've got some highlights and footage of that to show you right now. So take it away. Here's the highlights.
going to go for the...
I'll tell you what, there were some good games played yesterday, especially when we got to the business end of the tournament. Here are your quarter-final results here on the screen for you right now. The holders, West Yorkshire, went through. Tough game for them, but they got the goal that sealed their semi-final place. As the same with Tigers, the two London teams came together head-to-head. One of them had to go, and it was Bromley losing by the odd goal in 11 in a penalty shootout. Beaumont put a goal past Northampton to seal a semi-final place for themselves, but Luton, looking very impressive, laid down a marker and a benchmark for everybody else to follow by beating St Albans by 5-0. Before we go and look at semi-final results, guys, let's talk about the tournament. Let's talk about the football. Rash, I'll come to you first. A mixture of good and bad in the teams in terms of football and what we expected from all of them. How did you see it?
Firstly, if I can just thank all the teams for travelling from all parts of the UK. Yes, it was an early morning. I know a lot of people watching the boxing match, which didn't help. It was nice to see everyone turn up, and we kicked off and the game went as scheduled. For me, I think it was nice seeing everyone together. The standard-wise, I would say certain teams looked more impressive than others. There's certain teams, especially the quarter-final teams, rightly there. I think likes of Luton, Northampton, Birmingham looked sharp, and I think the quality from what I've seen last year has improved. But for me, I think for Bengali football in general, there's more improvement needed. We need to step up a bit more higher. I think likes of Tigers and Luton and Northampton were really on the top end. And I think London teams having 3 in the quarterfinals showed that obviously we're still having them standard. But I think overall, there's more to improve from Bengali players throughout the UK.
Would you echo that, Nane?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the quality that we saw yesterday was good. It was very good, in fact, comparing to the previous years that we've seen all of the tournaments. So there's definitely improvement, but I think there's still more improvements needed. I mean, those 16 teams came, they came with a hope to, showcase some of the talents, and I think they did a fantastic job, in doing so. Some of the teams came with like too much hype, there was like Sylhet came with too much hype, MKs and West Sheffield, Bromley, I think they didn't come up with too much hype, but I thought they were quite unlucky to go against Tigers, and they came so close to going through.
So saying that, I think we saw a lot of individual talent there, but as a team, I didn't see a strong unit full of quality team. But in each team had 3 or 4 really quality players. So I think all teams need to improve as a team so they can obviously boast the level in this competition.
Absolutely. How did you see it then, Hasnat?
It's unfortunate that I'm going to agree with these guys because, yeah, I mean, with respect to the tournament, it was great. If we justify it, we are seeing 11 players representing one town, but are probably playing for different teams. So that togetherness is only happening once a month, and that hence might explain the quality of it. But let's not take it away. I mean, I played against the London Tigers team. They were very good. I mean, even the St Albans team that I played against, they seemed like a really good outfit. They were together. I think what was lacking is probably a bit of physicality. I mean, what else can we say? But ultimately, let's move into the quarters, which you're going to discuss now. Which
maybe as well for you guys. I mean, like I said, it was a long day. I mean, I know there were only 25-minute games, but it does take its toll after a while when you're playing highly competitive games. 25 minutes, it's blood and guts. You've got to go and get your goals, and then it takes its toll after a while. But 4 teams managed to see their way through to the semi-finals, and we had 2 mouthwatering semi-finals, which nobody could probably predict. West Yorkshire, the holders, were up against the tournament favourites, the London Tigers, a game that everybody was looking forward to. Equally, Beaumont were taking on Luton. Could Beaumont really make the final? Well, there are the results for you on your screen now. London Tigers were emphatic in dismissing West Yorkshire and wrenching their hands from that trophy. 4-0 and was probably their finest performance of the day. And Luton, probably a little bit surprisingly, but not to those in the know, beating Beaumont by 2-0. So I have to turn to you, Rash, and say it was all looking great for Beaumont, steady results, and then you came up against a good Luton side.
They were very impressive. I think deservedly they were the better side and they won. I think Beaumont, to be honest, wasn't fully prepared, and the players didn't have 100% commitment. They struggled and just about beat Northampton in the quarterfinals. So for me, I didn't see the Beaumont that I wanted to see in the semi-final. Saying that, credit goes to Luton. They showed more hunger, more passion. They were doing the semi-final last year and they were disappointed to lose. This year, they managed to make sure they go one step better and go to the semi-final. So you have to give credit to Luton. They were the better side on the day.
Hasn't it? I mean, the year before, I remember London Tigers, it was almost as if they just came together with a mishmash of players and didn't really represent themselves in last year's tournament. But this time round, they looked like they had a quality unit out there.
Yeah, they certainly did. They've learnt from their lesson, clearly. And the unit they had this time round were one of the few teams that were together. And, well, Luton, the other team, that were very well organised. So, I mean, the right two teams, in my opinion, are in the final. I mean, London Tigers scoring 13 goals en route to the final. Luton being the highest scoring team in a single game, winning 5-0 against St Albans. So the right two teams.
What can we say about the whole tournament as a whole, Nanu? It was a good weekend, like we said. Many of us, me included, I put my hands up as well, you know, had a sleepless night the night before and still managed to get there to put on a performance, especially for the teams that had to come so far.
Yeah, I mean, we only live local, so it was really time for us. And the teams that had to travel from West Yorkshire, Birmingham and Northampton, you know, you can just imagine what time they had to leave. You know, so for them, that was a slight disadvantage. And I think the London teams had, you know, a slight edge over that because, you know, it was local. You can get up sort of 8 o'clock in the morning and set off, you know, whereas the teams that were, you know, living up north, you know, they'd get up 5 o'clock in the morning. So that was definitely a disadvantage. But I have to say, you know, Luton coming from where they were and then getting into the final, that was absolutely fantastic for them. Just want to talk about the Tigers game against the West Sheffield, you know, I mean, Yorkshire, they dismantled Yorkshire in the first half, you know, and if Yorkshire played like they played well in the last 10 minutes, then the outcome may have been different. So I think that they slacked throughout the game. Maybe they were tired, maybe they weren't, but I think they got the tactics
West
wrong.
Yorkshire actually came the night before and stayed over hotels. They were prepared, and the credit to them, they were organising credit. But I don't think, last year I think they played better football than this year. This year they didn't have the same, maybe they were missing players, but the quality wasn't there. Tigers, that was their best game. I see them in the group stages, they just managed to go through, but come the semi-final, they were up for it, and they showed it, because obviously they knew there's one step away from final, plus they lost to the Yorkshire in the final last year. So for them, the passion was there and the drive was there to beat them, and obviously they scored 4 goals. But once you said about the quality of the tournament itself, I think because it's second year, every team's are getting used to the idea and the whole tournament structure itself. And going back after this year, they're going to go back and say where they need to improve, where they need to strengthen, where they need to get develop players, etc. I think each year we'll see teams getting better and better. So hopefully next year, teams will learn and gain the experience from this year and get better next year.
Hopefully next year it will be that as such. Look forward to wherever it's going to be next year. But let's not talk about that. 2 teams made it to the final. It was London Tigers versus Luton, played at Dagenham and Redbridge Football Club. Can I show you the highlights of that one? Not just yet. You're just going to have to wait until next week because we're all out of time on the show this week. So thanks to the guys for coming in. Thanks to everybody who came from every part of the UK to take part in the tournament over this weekend. And let's not forget our own vets who took part in their Vets League Cup final and wrap that up next week. That is it for another ILFL Soccer Night show. We'll talk about the UK BFC final next week. We'll talk about the upcoming Summer League and Vets League still to come as well. But from me, the crew and everybody behind the screen, it's good night.
Out of time.